Chapter 62. The Ascended. The air thickened, pressed against their chests. Hearts hammered, fingers gripped the container, a fragile symbol of faith in a world of horror. Everything they'd survived compressed into this, one unbearable weight. The long road ended here. The ancient portal loomed ahead. Mir looked from Kaya to the case. He touched the lid. Tension shot through his fingertips. The burden weighed heavy in his palms. It held their entire journey. "Ready?" he rasped. Kaya nodded, steadying herself. "Yes." They stepped forward. Reality shuddered. Their bodies dissolved into a stream of pure energy. Time and space collapsed. Only a tight, blinding vortex remained, dragging them through an infinite chain of realities. The transit ended. Mir materialized. Light flooded his consciousness. Vivid images and sounds burned his memory. Echoes of 1,000 possible lives, 1,000 fates, lived in fractions of a second. Calix stood before them. "I never believed this day would come," he whispered. He stepped forward and held out his hand. His fingers, trembling with sacred awe, closed around the container. A niche lay hidden in the wall, carved with ancient symbols. He had known about it his whole life. Only now did it feel like a destination. 2 keys already rested there, from the Obsidian Cube and the Temple Cube. Sweat beaded on Calix's forehead. His breath hitched. He fought for ritual calm as he opened the case. The keys flared, a spectrum of colors, alive, answering each other. Their light pulsed in rhythm with Calix's heartbeat. He held the essence of history in his hands, its unpredictable flow, its crushing weight, the burden of a choice that could fracture reality. Trembling, Calix drove the remaining keys into the slots, one by one. They locked with a soft click, but each required more force than the last. Mir watched, frozen. Ice gripped his chest. A mistake? All their fighting? For nothing? He wanted to look away. He forced himself to stare. Kaya's body turned to lead. She tried to breathe evenly. The air scorched her lungs. A sharp, inescapable thought struck her. The final threshold. Beyond it, oblivion or rebirth. The mechanism resisted. The final artifact slid in with agonizing slowness. Calix ground his teeth. He threw his entire body weight against it. Muscles screamed under the strain. For a second, it felt like the machine would reject it. Then, a hollow click. The ancient device answered. It accepted their choice. Vibration tore through the floor, the suppressed exhale of an awakened antiquity. The walls shuddered. Symbols flared, weaving into living patterns. Calix froze. Eyes locked on the ancient stone. Power, finally unleashed, clawed its way out. Energy racked the room. The air snapped, stretched to the breaking point. A portal tore open before them. Its edges violently shifted, bleeding light, as if space itself was deciding whether to let them pass or consume them whole. Shadows and brilliant flashes churned in the depths, a gateway into the absolute unknown. They stepped through. A deafening silence of anticipation dropped over them. Their bodies didn't vanish. They thinned, dissolving, becoming part of the transit. They walked a ghost bridge stretching beyond the familiar. The whispers of millennia drifted in the air, echoes of forgotten words. They stood in a space without walls, shifting waves of pure data, infinite scripts assembling and collapsing, geometry beyond human comprehension. The Ascended appeared in halos of pulsing light. Their silhouettes were woven from razor-thin streams of light, patterns shifting with every movement. A fusion of absolute beauty, frozen perfection, and something terrifyingly alien. Reality itself rippled around them, distorted, fragile. Their forms were almost human. Almost. Sharp cheekbones, chiseled jawlines. Their garments flowed. The patterns bent and snapped as if possessed by their own will. The Ascended's gaze held knowledge that left no room for choice. Intellect far beyond human parameters. Eyes like bottomless lakes reflecting eternity. No emotion, only a pure, boundless grasp of reality. They radiated absolute certainty. Kaya held her breath. The air around them turned dense, tangible. It rang with tension. It pressed down, threatening to crush them like an invisible ceiling. The point of no return. This wasn't a premonition. It was cold, razor-sharp clarity. Their next step would rewrite the universe. Chaos stormed inside her. Doubt fought awe. Desperate hope clung to survival. Her heart slowed, almost stopped. A diver poised over the edge of eternity. Mir ground his teeth. Inside, everything went dead quiet. The old world shattered into shrapnel. The new one hadn't yet formed. The Ascended. Cold truth gaped in the depths of their eyes. Calyx lowered his head. His unshakable faith collapsed. The presence of the Ascended brought a revelation that annihilated his past. Deafening void. Piercing agony. There was no choice. Their voices manifested directly in his mind. Not an invasion. A soft, absolute touch of pure thought. Soundless, yet flooded with meaning. We have watched. Now is the time of truth. Who are you? Kaya dared to ask. Her voice trembled, but genuine curiosity cut through. The Ascended remained silent for a long beat. We are you. Once human. Hundreds of thousands of years altered us. We surpassed the old limits. We became entities existing beyond matter. The apex of evolution. But we have not forgotten the past. Then why the cubes? Mir asked. The cubes are mere simulations, one of the Ascended projected into their minds. Dispassionate, final, proving grounds. We built them to forge humanity before the inevitable step outward, before conquering the boundless universe. Every cube is a stage. In each, society evolved under conditions mirroring the planets you are destined to colonize. It was our method to help you grow stronger, to adapt. We never interfered directly, but we always monitored your progress. Calyx nodded, confirming the revelation. So it was you maintaining contact with the monks? The High Keeper's voice held steady, but his core trembled. Yes, the Ascended echoed in his mind. We didn't just share knowledge. We opened the pathways, allowed them to sense and maintain the unity of the cubes, empowered them to actively defend the established order against the forces of destruction. They were our chosen sentinels of wisdom and harmony. We fed them critical data, guiding humanity. But even with our hand, the evolution of civilizations within the cubes remained unstable. Because someone wanted to stop it, Kaya said. The core of the conflict snapped into focus. The anti-Ascended. The Ascended's gaze settled heavily on her. The anti-Ascended were once us. They share our knowledge, our power. But their ideology fractured. They believe humanity is doomed to repeat its errors. They decree your civilization unworthy of stepping beyond the cubes. They want to lock you here forever to prevent another cycle of self-annihilation. They intervene. They sow chaos. They crush the fragile balance and strangle your growth in the cradle. Are they right? Mir asked. He crushed his fingers into a fist. Answering for you is not within our power. The voice resonated, heavy with ancient force. But we can show you.